Great. We'll start off with Greg Logan from Newsday.
Steve, what are you've talked about the lineups that you haven't gotten to use very much, with Blake and Nick with the big three. What are you planning to do with your two centers when you get the chance to have everybody available?
Well, I mean, it's not going to be that much different than it's been recently. They're all going to share minutes. We got Blake, we got Nick, we got Jeff Green. Certain matchups or times we have DJ as well. So they'll all get their opportunities.
Christian Winfield with the New York Daily News.
Hey, Coach, kind of following up on that, I feel like Tristan Thompson is a unique type of matchup in terms of just offensive glass type of cleaning in the paint. Does that lead you to maybe lean towards playing DJ in those types of physical matchups down there?
It's possible. He is a priority. His offensive rebounding is elite. So is Williams. So it is a key for us to limit their offensive rebounds.
Ryan Dunleavy with the New York Post.
Steve, I've got two for you. Jeff Green, you obviously played against him when he first came in the league. How important has he been for this team, and how remarkable is it that he's still going after, that heart procedure early in his career?
Well, Jeff's been great for us. I mean, he's been, his maturity and experience have been, I think, really important for our team throughout this year that's been, so difficult in different ways. And then as a player, he's kind of a Swiss Army knife for us. He can play on the perimeter. He can be a pick and roll guy. He can play the five in a small lineup. He, can do a lot of different things and guard different positions. So he's been really important and versatile for our team.
And then for you, Steve, I mean, obviously as a player, you got pretty deep in the playoffs, but had a Hall of Fame career, but never got that ring. As a coach, would that be the same for you as a player, or is it a little bit different?
I think it's a little bit different. For me, I'm here to see these guys succeed and to try to give them the best opportunity to play their best basketball and go as far as they can and try to win a championship. That is something that I find a lot of reward in and motivates me to work hard and to lead this group.
Tom Dowd with BrooklynNets.com.
Hey, Steve, this was a historically efficient offense this season, even with, the big three not getting a lot of minutes together. I mean, going forward, is there even another level this group can reach on that end?
I think we definitely have room for growth. The playoffs obviously are going to make things even more difficult, though. They're going to scout and you get in a series and they're going to try to take things away and they're going to scheme you. The game can also slow down. There's more rest between games. So, it should be more difficult in the playoffs, but can our offense improve under duress? Absolutely. That's something that we haven't faced a lot of, for us to get into a playoff series where we're having to, play together at a really high level. We're having to think the game. We're having to make reads at a higher level, and that'll be important for our growth as well.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post.
Hey, Steve. This is twofold. I mean, obviously rotations kind of change series to series, but I'm curious what your optimal rotation size would be. 8, 9, 10, or do you not even really know that yet?
Well, I think, you could pencil in 9 or maybe 10, but you just never know. Who knows? I think we'd probably start at 9, and if we need 10, we'd go to 10, but it's all dependent on how the game goes, what's happening from moment to moment, game to game, and what we need. So you don't want to go in with the idea of playing too many guys, but you also want to use as many guys as possible to make sure that there's an opportunity for the guys not to have to play so many minutes, start to finish.
Back to Greg Logan with Newsday.
Steve, a couple of years ago in the first round loss to the 76ers, they did a really good job of taking Joe Harris away, covering him out high. Do you anticipate something like that from the Celtics? How critical do you think it is for opposing teams to try and shut him down?
Well, I'm sure they don't want to give him any free looks. He's one of the best shooters in our game. Having said that, it's a little trickier when you have three guys out there that can break the defense down. So that's the beauty of our team. While we have we understand that we don't have a lot of time together or history together, we do have talent. And if we can make those pieces work together with fluidity and an understanding, that's the beauty of this roster and this team. But we got to build up. We got to get better all the time. We got to learn as we face this team and how they scheme us and how they defend us, and be able to react, but also be able to adjust.
Back to Brian Lewis with the Post.
Hey, Steve. You mentioned that talent that you guys have, which is pretty apparent for everybody to see. It's probably a little unusual that a team comes in as quote unquote the favorite or a betting favorite when they haven't won. Do you hear all the outside chatter where you guys are, viewed as kind of the bullies of the NBA or the villains of the NBA because of how the team was constructed? You hear that? You guys find it amusing, irritating, entertaining? I mean, how do you guys process that?
We haven't really talked about it. It's not something that I'm that aware of, to be honest with you. I hear it from you guys from time to time, but I kind of go home and parent 5 kids after work. So I don't have a lot of time to be, reading up on what people think about us. I think there's 2 schools of thought. Some people look at our talent and say, well, they got to be the favorites. And other people look at our team and say there's no way they can win because it's their first year together and their 3 star players have only played a handful of games together. So I could understand why people would come to the conclusion or predict both scenarios. The truth is none of that matters. It's about us and our journey and how we can come together, how we can continue to build, get better every day, and hopefully grow throughout these playoffs.
Back to Christian Winfield with the Daily News.
Hey, Coach, kind of an offbeat question here, but it seems like Brooklyn has become kind of the smoothie capital of the NBA. It seems like every time we see a player on the Nets, they have a smoothie in their hand. Are smoothies kind of like non-negotiables, or are guys kind of gravitating towards them and they like them?
I would imagine the second, since I have not seen any mandates that you have to have a smoothie, but I'm assuming they like them. So it's good. It's good. They're refueling.
Thank you.
Alex Schiffer with The Athletic.
Hey, Steve, forgive me if you've been asked this before. I hopped on a little late, but you've talked a lot about Nick and his importance during the playoffs with the switchability, but also obviously it's his first time going through all this. I guess just how do you kind of balance that and be cognizant that he's going to be an important piece, but also this is his first time going through the playoffs in any setting because he was hurt last year.
Yeah, he's really a rookie. So him going into postseason with high expectations, it's not easy. But at the same time, with Nick, if he plays hard and uses his length and athleticism and his activity, he's okay. We can allow him to make some mistakes. Our team should be good enough to allow him to make some, inexperienced plays and still have an impact on the game because of his profile. A guy that plays that hard, is that long and athletic. He can do a lot of things and help our team in a lot of ways. And I think that we can suffer some mistakes out of him due to inexperience because of his skill set. But obviously it's something you have to monitor, and as with every player, and performances are constantly in flux, and you try to judge who deserves the minutes or who's the right for that matchup or that moment.
Last question, back to Tom Dowd, BrooklynNets.com.
Hey, Steve, how significant has it been to what you guys have done or how you can deal with playoff defenses going forward? Just that you've got these 3 big scorers who have been so effective as distributors and playmakers as well.
Well, it's a luxury to have, for sure. Having said that, we still haven't faced, a playoff series together. We haven't actually played. We've barely played 7 games together. So, it is tricky. I mean, while the potential's there, and while we will, be able to, let our talent take over at times. When it comes to the playoffs, it's about execution, connectivity. That competitive spirit collectively. And so those things are things we can control as we go forward, and hopefully suffer us, a little, or give us a little bit of time to work through the kinks because of that talent. So there's, by no means do I look at this and go, oh, we're so talented, we're just going to roll out there and win games. In the playoff, details matter. Connectivity, cohesion matters. Teams are going to throw a lot of different stuff at us, try to slow us down, try to make it difficult, try to give us different reads, and we got to be able to adapt and adjust. And some of that, is more difficult when it's fresh. You haven't seen it before, but these guys are capable, they're experienced, they're skilled, and they have the will to want to do it. So right now it's about us starting this journey, learning as we go, improving as we go, and putting ourselves in a position to win each night.